Available as a kit you can build yourself or fully assembled, our Airstream air vent upgrade kits significantly improve the airflow of your Airstream vent while keeping the look of the OEM vent grill. Our dampered version goes even further, letting you manually adjust your vent from fully open to fully closed with no leaks.
All right, I'm going to walk you through the Upstream Outfitters AC air register upgrade kit. Comes in a bag like this when you get it. All the parts just dump out. And we're going to work on putting together 3 different assemblies. In this assembly, you're going to have your mounting ring base. So in the mounting ring base, you've got 2 wings. You've got this felt gasket, which will get installed at the time you install it in your Airstream, so you can put that aside. And then you're going to have your lock base and lock arm. So there's a damper assembly, which consists of the base of the damper, the retainer, and then this felt ring that goes in between. And then you will have, there's also the actuator assembly, which is the actuator screw, cap for the screw, and then the actuator connector that connects all these pieces together. You're going to get a hardware bag. Inside the hardware bag, the first thing you want to find is your Allen wrench, which looks like that. And there is a small screw that has a button head cap, just like this. You're going to want to put both those back in your bag and put them aside. You'll need that with your other felt gasket for installation, but you don't need them right now. And then we'll put all the hardware aside and I'll walk you through assembling everything one at a time. All you're going to need, Phillips screwdriver. So we're going to start with the mounting ring assembly. So you'll need the mounting ring. You're going to need these 2 wings. And you're going to need the rotation lock base and rotation lock arm. And we're going to start with those. So what you'll want to do is get the hardware for this part. You've got 4 of these smaller screws. And you've got 3 of these lock nuts. So the hardware for this, you've got 4 smaller screws and 3 lock nuts. 2 lock nuts go over here, 2 screws go over here, and then for this rotation lock, you're going to need 2 screws and a single lock nut. The lock nuts install pretty easily here. You can put them in here and use the back of your screwdriver just to push them down. They're nylon, so they'll lock in place. You don't have to worry about them moving or your screws loosening and travel. And then all you got to do is look for the hole on this, and then just kind of pop this in here. And then you're going to just screw this in from the bottom. This part does not have a nut, so you just want to screw it in until it's snug and the screws flush. You don't want to tighten it too much because you could strip it, but it's pretty sturdy. If it feels a little loose, this one does, you can just tighten it up just a little bit more. You just want to feel that it's solid. For the 2 wings, again, you're going to just take these 2 nuts. You're going to put one. You're going to take these wings, put in the nuts, which just push in. And this one will just push in. Push them both in. And that's it for those. In the mounting ring, you're going to see that there are 2 spots that look the same that are wider. And there's a narrower spot. Their narrower spot is for the lock base. So you're going to line that up with that hole. You're going to turn it over and you're just going to put this screw in again till it's snug. You don't really want to over tighten this. You just want it to be able to hold in place. And then for this side, you take the mounting wings and these are going to tighten in until you can kind of watch them move. So as soon as it starts to catch the nylon, you'll feel it gets a little harder, and then you're going to be able to do it like this. And that's the motion we're going to use to lock it into the roof. So we go like that. As soon as it starts to do this much movement, you just leave it in there, and those are going to stay in a little bit loose. You just want to make sure that the screws into the nylon a little bit so it doesn't fall out on you. Then we'll take the second one, we'll put it on here. Put the screw in the bottom, tighten it up. And again, as soon as you've got that motion, you're good. And we'll tighten that down when we install it. So that is your mounting ring assembly. We're going to just set that over to the side. So the next thing we're going to do is the damper assembly. So you're going to need the damper base, and this is the top, the damper retainer, and you're going to need the felt gasket. And then you're going to need 2 lock nuts of the bigger size lock nuts, and you're going to need 2 of the short screws. And this is pretty easy. Again, you're going to put these nuts in here, push them down to lock them in. Then you're going to flip this damper over. You're going to center the felt gasket on here, and you're going to put the retainer onto the felt gasket. And you should be able to see that you've got 2 holes there that go through those nuts. You're just going to put these screws in. And again, you're going to just tighten until it's snug. You don't want it too tight. And then the other thing that you want to do is just kind of make sure your felt gasket is roughly even around all the sides. So once this is in, just a little bit snug, okay? And then, see, my gasket's not quite centered. All you got to do is give it a little tug this way to pull it over. Kind of feel around the outside edges, make sure that it's roughly centered. That doesn't really matter all that much as long as it's underneath all of the plastic. So that is the damper assembly. That's going to go over here. The next thing we need to do is prepare the actuator assembly, and that's this is the actuator itself, and it's the connector that kind of puts the whole piece together. For this, you're going to need the 2 lock nuts that you should have left. There's a big one, there's a small one. And then for both of these nuts, the small one goes in the lower hole next to the wings here, and the larger one goes in the bigger hole here. And you're going to want to make sure that the round parts of the nut, the part that's got a circle on the top, is facing towards the middle. So for this big nut, you're going to put it in with that facing towards the middle. So if you look at this, you can kind of see that it's that way. And, you know, they should just slide right in. If it's not going in, you might want to make sure that the sides are parallel. The little nut also needs to be pointing towards the middle. So if you look at this, here's the circle, and that little nut's going to just get slid right in there. And, you know, if you have any problems, you can use one of the screws through this hole to pop the nut out if it doesn't line up right. You push it all the way in, make sure it's in, kind of check both of the holes to make sure you can kind of see into it. And that's pretty much it. For the final assembly, you're going to need your base, you're going to need your damper, and then the last 2 pieces you should have left over, which are the mounting screw and the cap, and there's 1 screw left over that kind of puts everything together. So you're going to take the damper, you're going to turn it upside down, you're going to take this actuator screw, and it's got a flat top with a hex hole in it, and you're going to kind of work to get it to spin in to this hole here, okay? And you want it to be about in the middle. The next thing you're going to do is line up the fork here with this, and then you're going to set it down so that the screw goes into the hole here in the middle of the base. So this screw goes into here, and like so. You're going to hold those together, turn it over, and then you're going to take your actuator connector, and you're going to just drop it in here. And that's pretty easy. Then you're going to take the cap, going to put it on top, and then you're going to put in this screw, which connects everything together. And you're going to just screw this in, and then your assembly is done and, you know, ready to install. So as you turn this knob, your damper will open. As you turn it this way, it closes. And then when you go to install it, you're going to put it up in the ceiling and turn these so the wings come out to lock it in place. And then you'll tighten it down so it's snug. And, you know, that's it. So if you're a little bit handy, I think you can pretty easily put these kits together yourself, save a little bit of money, and, you know, get heading down the road. Thanks for checking out our register upgrade kits. It's nice that once you kind of mount that aluminum disc on this side and screw it in, you're not going to have these falling out of your ceiling anymore because the wings help lock the unit in place. And, you know, you can just turn the entire assembly on the outside to point your air and also control how much airflow you have, which I have found is pretty great to have in these trailers. So if you have any questions, you can find us on Facebook. You can send us an email, give us a call. Thanks.